Lots of stars have gotten involved in venture capital and tech over the last year. Sarah, what inspired you to go the entrepreneurship route?
I think it was a combination of things. I think I got to that point in my life where I feel incredibly fortunate that I've accomplished so much in the field that I set out to accomplish, and you never want to rest on your laurels. And I've watched the culture around us change, where it's not just about being a celebrity. You certainly hear that word brand thrown around about, but I also felt underutilized in what I was doing, and I always felt like I was capable of more, but I wasn't sure what that was, and I wasn't necessarily searching it out. And after the birth of my first child and my second child, I was that cliche where all of my priorities changed and what I was looking for changed. I didn't want to go to far-flung locations. I wanted to have a home base. I wanted to show my kids that I could produce something tangible. And when my business partner Galit and I came up with the idea, just the concept of showing our daughters what women can accomplish with an idea, I think for us was a big motivator.
Tell me a little bit about Foodstirs.
We like to call Foodstirs the disruptive modern baking brand. We're really trying to take, everybody bakes, everybody loves sweets, but we've sort of grown accustomed, unfortunately, to these legacy brands that are filled with chemicals and ingredients that the modern consumer has no interest in. So we said, why hasn't someone modernized this and really, sought out the best ingredients and done it naturally and dye-free? And it's a big category. It's a $5 billion category that's just sleepy and laying there. And we spent 2.5 years really researching ingredients and what we could find, whether it was, biodynamic sugar and the best heirloom flour we could find, and where the natural dyes were located. And also with our kits, sort of edging out this Pinterest society. We live in a social society, and I always say people either Instagram cats or food, and I'm allergic to cats, so all I have left is food. And I think I was also motivated by the fact that I was not a chef or a cook growing up. I grew up in New York City, I ordered takeout, I made great reservations. And when my kids were born, I really wanted them involved in the process of food, and not just in the ingredients, but how it sustains our earth. And it's a larger story when you have children. And I was watching my husband have all these great moments that I was missing out on. And so I started to learn with them.
How do you guys develop your recipes?
It's a combination. It's a lot of trial and error. It's an idea that we have. What do we think the modern consumer would want? And we have an unfair advantage in the sense that Galit and I and Greg are the modern consumer. We're the demographic, we're the age group, we have both sexes. So, we really test it out. And then we look to the professionals once we've sourced the ingredients that we want. And then we have to beg, borrow, and steal to get access to those ingredients and to keep our, our costs low, because we also want to be able to bring it to the masses. We don't want it to be this great product that nobody can afford.
Tell me a little bit about the transition from acting to entrepreneurship. Has that been challenging?
It's been incredibly difficult. I think there's a novelty and, let's see Buffy bake. I think people see funny headlines and they think, oh great, she's either a spokesperson or, this is going to be a good laugh, a good story we can tell it at drinks on Friday night. But all you have to do is get in a room, and then I can prove, and we can prove concept, we can, prove the research, and we have the product to go along with it. But it definitely, for people that think it's easier, maybe it is easier to get in the door, but you have to have the concept proof to back it up.
Tell me a little bit about how you're leveraging what you've learned as an actor in the business now.
Well, I think a lot of it's about authenticity. I think that the modern consumer wants access to the brands. It's not about these big corporations with nameless figures. They want to know and be part of the family. They want it to be, a forum. And I think that has been a great advantage in the fact that I've always tried to keep my own personal brand authentic, and I have a voice that people can relate to and they understand, when I'm saying something. And I think that's how you use it. The modern consumer wants access.
What are the plans you have and the hopes you have for the company in 2017?
Well, in 2017, I think it's about doors. It's about retail distribution. We've just started. We had a great holiday season where Whole Foods Northeast and Southern California, Gelson's and Whole Foods, which are two of the biggest markets that we could ask for. So, we like to start big. But it's really about, for me, it's breaking down those doors and getting into the local groceries in everyone's local market so they can have access to it and understand it. So I think that's 2017. And the ultimate goal is that when you think of baking, that you think of Foodstirs, that, the way we say Kleenex when we mean tissue, that we want to represent the modern baker. I've always believed that you should indulge, but you should indulge in the best way possible, make it worth your while. And I think there's a trend now that I'm really seeing, which is people want to make stuff at home. They want that quick scratch. And I'm not a master chef. What I'm doing, you can do. I always say, if I can make it on live television, you can make it in the safety of your own home.
Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck with Foodstirs.
Thank you.